I made a bunch of questions. And are you ready for this? Since it's just you could take your time to respond to them. And I and it's just for chapter 4 review. And if you don't know
Okay.
anything, we could like just go over the answers together. So it's like not a big deal, okay?
Okay, that sounds good.
Okay. But if you also have any other questions outside of these, you can also ask those whenever you want.
Okay.
So, what are the differences between glucose and glycogen?
Glucose is the primary source of for like the human body, and glycogen isn't that like storage? Like
Mhm.
what's it like to store?
Yeah,
Is that right?
yeah, nice job. Define monosaccharides, disaccharides, and polysaccharides, and then give examples of each.
Monosaccharides are just one glucose. Wait, no. It's one something because mono is single.
Mm-hmm.
Is it one hydrogen? Like bonds or
Do you remember
something?
what saccharide is?
A sugar?
Yes, so
No.
just one sugar.
Oh, it's just one sugar, and then dies two and tries three.
Poly
And
is,
poly is many.
yes, nice
Sorry.
job. Okay, can you give an example of monosaccharide?
Mono, isn't that like fructose? Like in fruits?
Mm-hmm. There's actually three monosaccharides. And
Oh no.
so glucose is one of them, and fructose and galactose. And
Oh, there's three.
yeah, and
Okay.
disaccharide is just combinations of monosaccharides, but they all have their own names too. Do you remember what the disaccharides are?
No, I don't.
Can you see the screen?
No,
Okay,
it's not.
let me try screen sharing again. There we go. Can you see it now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. So sucrose, lactose, and maltose are the three disaccharides, and they're just combinations of the monosaccharides. And then polysaccharides is more complicated than that. Do you have any examples of a polysaccharide?
No,
Okay, no
it's
worries.
poly.
These four, well, no, these three are examples. Glucagon is a polysaccharide. The starch and fiber, specifically amylose and amylopectin, soluble and insoluble fiber. Do you know
Okay.
the difference between insoluble and soluble fibers are?
Yeah, insoluble are fibers that is not digestible, and fiber is insoluble fiber is fiber that is digestible and that your small intestine could get like nutrients out of it,
Mm-hmm.
like from it.
Can you give an example of each? Like some food we have that
Um,
has either or?
Oh yeah, like the apple, so like the skin in the apple is insoluble and like the inside, so like the meat is soluble.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Yeah, a lot of fruits and vegetables have both. And I don't know if you talked about this in lecture, but if you drink fruit juice, do you get soluble fiber or insoluble fiber?
I think it's insoluble.
Yeah, you
Or no,
don't.
you don't because it's like the juice form. It's not like its whole form,
Yeah,
right?
like the machine that juices the vegetables and fruit, it literally extracts all the cellulose, all of the fibers, which is unfortunate. 'Cause,
So that's
yeah.
that.
Speaking of fiber, do you know what the difference between dietary and functional fiber is?
Is it like dietary, both insoluble and soluble fiber? And then the functional fiber is like fiber that we can actually digest.
Functional. Okay, this was kind of confusing to me too, but what I learned from my research is that dietary fibers, it is naturally like from the fruit and vegetable itself. But functional fiber, they take it out of the fruit or they take it out of something and add it to something else that didn't have it originally, like fiber supplements, like
Mhm.
in the pill form. Or
Yeah,
they would like fortify things with fiber, like granola bars. Sometimes they just
yeah.
add a bunch of fiber to it that it didn't originally have.
Um, oh, that's good to know. Can I write that down?
Yeah, go for it. And this whole entire tutor session is recorded, so if you want to go back, you can always look at the video that would be posted later.
Oh, I'll just go back.
Okay. How many servings of whole grains are recommended?
Servings. Um, I don't know.
Take a guess based on like people
Is
are
it
like recommended to eat 3 meals a day. What do you estimate is the amount of whole grains in all 3 meals combined?
oh like whole grains?
Hmm.
So like 3 cups? No?
Well, I don't think they measured it in cups. They just said 2 to 4 servings. So you should at least have
Oh,
2 servings, but people usually eat 3 meals a day,
teaspoon.
you know?
Okay, so oh, wait, what? That one's for grains?
Yes, specifically whole grains, not carbs
Uh,
in general.
yeah, grains. Okay.
Okay, this one's a fun one. Can you tell me a grain and a health benefit from it? There's like a bunch of grains that was shown in lecture.
Um,
List any on the top of your head.
a grain. Was it like, oh, what did she say?
You could also
Um,
go in your pantry and look
like
to see if you want.
I don't like there's like multi-grains. Is that one? Or is that just like a name?
I think that's a combination of a bunch of grains. If you look in your bread and stuff like that, what kind of grain is in it?
Whole grain?
So an
Whole
example
wheat.
would be, yeah, like whole wheat. Wheat would be a grain.
Wheat.
Rice, oats,
Oh, yeah,
like
yeah,
stuff like
yeah.
that.
Like buckwheat, right?
Yeah,
Like
buckwheat.
buckwheat, but it's just for dietary benefits. Or
But
like
what
I
is the
don't know what
dietary
benefits it
benefit?
has.
So these are the ones that she talked about or like shown in lecture. They all have insoluble fibers and soluble fibers. So, but these are the other health benefits that they offer as well, besides that.
Can you explain again, like a refresher, how it lowers cholesterol? Like,
Lowers cholesterol.
yeah, like how does that work? Like, how do carbohydrates help with cholesterol?
Hmm. Okay, let me write down this question. From the top of my head, um, I just remember how it creates a lot of bulk and it slows down your digestion. And cholesterol is a type of lipid that helps
Yeah,
like
okay. I
break
remember
down.
she did say that.
But I'm gonna write it down this question. How does these grains lower cholesterol? And then I'll get back to you. Can you also like write your email in the chat so I could take
Oh,
attendance
yeah.
and I could email you
Mhm.
afterwards? Okay. That's a good question, though. Thank you for asking it. Okay. Next question. Why should we eat vegetables and what kind of nutrients do they provide?
They provide antioxidants and uh I want to say phytochemicals, but they're called phytochemicals, and they provide the um uh, vitamins and minerals,
Hmm.
and they're also a good source of fiber.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is really funny to try to explain to kids. Kids are like, why should I eat vegetables? And you can list them all these reasons, but they probably can't, like, depending how old they are, they may not be able to conceptualize what this all means. Um,
Oh,
why should we eat fruits and what kind of nutrients do they provide?
well, fruits are good because they provide again, minerals and vitamins, and they also have some, but am I saying this right?
Yeah,
Phytochemicals.
phytochemicals.
Phytochemicals. Um, and they also have natural sugars, like simple, I think it's simple sugars,
Yeah.
which the body could like digest better.
Yes, so
Yeah.
true. In my when I took this class, I learned that a lot of times it's recommended to eat fruit first before your meal because your body breaks down that sugar the fastest because it's simple sugars and it doesn't have a lot of bonds and stuff. And so you get that burst of energy instead of feeling sluggish after you eat fruit at the end of a meal. So
Oh my
that's why
God,
a lot of people do that.
that's a really fun, like that's a good fun fact to know.
And a lot of nutritionalists and parents are not worried about their kids eating fruit because, like you said, it has natural sugar. It's very sweet.
Yeah.
Kids don't like hate. I mean, they don't like some fruits because of the textures and stuff, but like they won't, be worried about forcing your kids to eat fruit because it's naturally very sweet.
Yeah, it's good. Fruit is good for you. Good
Hmm.
for the soul.
Yes, so true. Okay, name an alternative sweetener and its pros and cons.
Is it like wait, sugar?
Like it could be a sugar alcohol or
Oh, like honey?
yeah, what is its pros and cons?
Well, honey it has lots of sugar, but it also has. Oh wait, yeah, could that be one?
I think
Like,
honey,
sugar?
there's table
I mean,
sugar, which
we
is what
didn't
we're
talk
thinking
about
of.
it. Yeah, no, she didn't talk about honey.
Hmm.
Um, high fructose. Wait, what's so an alternative could be high fructose or sugar alcohol?
Hmm. These are types of sugars that are like different from table sugar. Like when you were talking about honey, it is like very similar to table sugar, but a lot of people consume that because it has other um phytochemicals to it. Like people consume it because sometimes they have allergies and they believe that consuming honey and like pollen from the bees who are getting like it from the flowers help them build
Yeah.
like residual immunity to like seasonal allergies. So
Mm,
that could be like a benefit from consuming honey instead of table sugar. And high fructose corn syrup, people might buy that. I don't actually know anyone personally who has that as their main form of sugar instead of like table sugar or like maple syrup or honey. And but on
that
the
doesn't
lecture it
sound
says
yummy.
it's the cheapest because it's just so readily available
Yeah.
and it has longer shelf stability and it's sweeter than glucose because it's mostly fructose. So that's kind of fun to.
Um,
But you will see
wait,
it.
sorry, one question, not about this, but a question I just had in mind. So when it says like Diet Pepsi, like Diet Coke, what's like the alternative sweetener that they use to like sweeten the drink or whatever?
I'm wondering if it also depends on the company. Like some of them use different ones, but they usually do alternate sweeteners that have little to no calories, which is their selling point. Because when they market like the normal product with like table sugar has calories. It gives you energy, you know? It has
Yeah.
that. But if they choose an alternate sweetener or like a sugar alcohol or something like that, then it has little to no calories and it's called diet for that reason. Because if there's less calories, I guess to some people they prefer
Right.
that.
Okay.
Well, good question.
Thank you.
Okay. Tell me about digestion in the mouth. What kind of enzymes are in it? What kind of digestion is happening? Like what's going on in the mouth?
Well, chemical and mechanical digestion happen in the mouth, and there's an enzyme called amylase or lipase. Oh, Lord.
It is amylase. But what's
Amylase?
amylase
Okay.
break down?
It breaks down like your food
What kind
and
of
it helps you to like, I'm not, maybe I'm making this up, but doesn't it like help you to like absorb some of like the nutrients? Or no?
well, in
Yeah.
the end, all the chemical and mechanical
Well, it
digestion
breaks down
is so you could
starch.
absorb it in your small intestines. So, like,
Um,
throughout your whole GI tract, there's like some form of mechanical and chemical digestion. I think um the amylase you're talking about, it only targets starches. So carbohydrates,
Starches. Yeah.
yeah, in the mouth. And it's like the shortest part of your GI tract, like time-wise, which is kind of fun to think about because like we focus so much, like in the food industry, they focus so much about appealing to the taste buds, right? But that's like the shortest part
Yeah.
of the GI tract. Okay, now tell me about the digestion in the stomach.
Well, digestion in stomach, it turns into chyme,
Mhm.
right? And then, oh gosh, um, it goes into your large intestine, right? So
No,
did you
it
know?
goes to the small intestine first, then the
But
large intestine.
yeah, I'm just getting those two confused.
It's
Um,
okay.
yeah, so it starts from the small intestine and then the small intestine it like absorbs most of like the minerals and vitamins and
Wait,
like the
wait, you're getting
essential.
too far. We're just talking about the stomach. Then we're going to talk about the small intestines and then the large
Oh
intestine.
my gosh,
So
sorry.
it's okay. You're getting ahead of yourself.
I'm
So
doing the
I
wrong
did
question.
I did also want you to remember the stomach acids, like the importance of that. Like why is our stomach so acidic? Do you know why?
So it could like help break down like the bonds or something
Yeah,
inside
it's
it. Like
chemical digestion. Oh, I mean, it helps. It says I wrote no chemical digestion,
chemical.
but it helps like break everything down to be smaller and smaller and smaller. Like what you said, it breaks down the
Uh,
bonds.
okay.
Okay. So now we are on small intestines.
Oh my gosh, I'm not okay. This one test, I'm still like studying this area, but I know that this one test it takes out like the majority of like the minerals and like nutrients, and yeah, I don't know if that's pretty great. Oh yeah, it has amylase. We
Mm-hmm.
get to increase it to help break down
Mm-hmm.
further.
I There's a lot of things that go around in the small intestine because you're right. It's like the main area where we absorb things. But the thing
Yeah,
I learned that is really cool is that the whole small intestines, you know how it's huge and long and stuff, like
yeah.
different sections of it absorbs different things. And there you can like look up a list of the online. Like I don't have this memorized, but like some parts of it will only absorb like let's say like this mineral and some parts will only like absorb this vitamin. So if some people get surgery because like something's wrong and get a chunk of that small intestine out, it actually is detrimental because then that section that absorbs a certain thing, it
Yeah.
it's like it loses it's gone and then your all your other parts of your system it will eventually adapt and start absorbing that but it takes a while and then you will lose like access to that like nutrition for a very long time like you have to get like
Gosh.
an IV of that or something.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, so it's pretty cool though to think about that
That
different.
is cool, yeah.
Okay, and then oh, these are like different types of things that happen in the small intestines. So, lactose intolerance. What do you know about it?
Is that when your body can't digest like the sugar?
Yep, it
Like
doesn't have enough of the enzyme lactase to
enzyme.
break it
Okay.
down. And I remember like learning about
Wait, so
how,
your body, so if you're lactose intolerant, you don't have enough of the enzyme lactase.
yes.
Like you have to, okay, yeah.
So I learned that it's a genetic like thing that happens because a lot of babies, when they're born, they have the ability to break down lactose, especially in European countries, because that's where they have a lot of cows and they are like grown to consume dairy over their lifetime. So a lot of like East Asians don't have this ability because they didn't like culturally grow up with dairy. So a lot of East Asians are very
Mhm.
lactose intolerant. And then I also learned that lactose intolerance is completely different from a dairy allergy. Because a dairy allergy means that as soon as your body like has interactions with the a dairy protein, and there's like so many different kinds of dairy protein, but like any of them, it's like an allergic reaction. It could become anaphylactic, like things in your body starts rejecting it. There's like a whole immune response.
Yeah.
So it's completely different from lactose intolerance, which could have symptoms that are similar to each other, but it's different, you know?
Okay. That's really good to know because it's something that you can like get easily like
Hmm.
confused with and think
Yeah.
it's like the same thing.
Yeah.
Uh, like is it true? I'm not sure, but I've heard that if you're lactose intolerant, it's good to eat Greek yogurt so you can like help alleviate that. But I think it's like fake.
I heard that goat milk has less lactose in it. And there's also like companies where they already add the enzyme to their products. So I think lactase, there's like a company called Lactaid. Have you heard of the company Lactaid?
Oh
They put
yeah,
this
yeah.
enzyme already in the product. So a lot of the sugar is already broken down. And then when people consume it, they have less of the symptoms. Like there's less gas abdominal bloating, cramps, and diarrhea because it's already broken down.
Um, okay. Mm-hmm.
So Greek yogurt, if it like it has less, then it probably does because it's fermented, you know. So I think
Yeah,
it depends on the product and how much lactose it has.
it has.
Okay. Different types of carbohydrate absorption.
Wait, what does that mean? Different
How is carbs absorbed in your body?
through the small intestine? Mm.
Oh, specifically the chemical processes. Let me be more specific. Different types of carbo absorption.
Um, well, I still don't know the answer.
Okay, so I think
Mhm.
monosaccharides, because they're so small enough, they just like get absorbed through your small intestines. Like they could pass through and enter your bloodstream and your cells and stuff, and the
Oh
hepatic
yeah,
portal.
she did mention that the um like the sugars turn into glucose because that's like easier for the body to like absorb.
Hmm.
So
Yep.
Yeah.
So that's what that means. And then there's active absorption, which requires specific carriers and energy input. And the bigger ones require fructose requires facilitated diffusion, which means that a carrier is used, but no energy input is needed, while galactose and fructose also needs the liver to metabolize it into glucose. So I think they all go through the hepatic portal and then they get
Yeah.
metabolized into glucose there. But in order to enter from the small intestines, they need like a lot of support, whether through like a carrier or they need ATP to get through because they're too big.
Okay.
Okay,
Great.
functions.
Okay. For
Oh, sorry.
energy.
Go for it. Ask your question.
No, I'm just saying it either needs a carrier or energy
Yes.
for to. Okay, yeah. Mhm.
Okay.
That's something I have
Functions.
to study.
Functions of a liver.
Um, functions of the liver. Oh gosh, I'm spacing out. Doesn't the liver help to store? Is it used for storage? No.
Yes.
Yeah. Something like that. And
It's used to store like a bunch of glucagon shows in the liver as well in the muscles,
glucagon.
which I didn't write down.
Glucagon.
Oh, it does. Produces glucagon.
First,
Glycogen, sorry, glycogen. Glucagon is a
wait, so it produces glucagon?
not glucagon.
Uh,
Glucagon and insulin are produced in somewhere else that we
the
will talk about
pancreas.
later. But I meant glycogen. Those two words are very similar. Sometimes I get them confused. But I meant glycogen.
So glycogen is produced in the liver.
Yes. This is actually kind of fun to know. Glucose, it doesn't
Oh,
store glucose in the liver. It's stored as glycogen because glucose is too bulky. Like if you look at a molecular structure of a glucose and glycogen, glycogen could store a lot more because it's branched and it holds a lot more energy. So it fits, like it packs more compactly, which is why it's stored as glycogen instead of glucose. So whenever it's needed, it will just break down into glucose. But while it's like chilling
um,
there, it
that makes
looks like
sense.
this. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then if it releases the glucose into bloodstream for transport to brain, muscles, kidneys, and adipose tissue. It produces fat when carbohydrates are consumed in high amounts and overall calorie needs are extended. Yeah. Do you have any
Hmm?
questions about the liver?
Not right now. No.
Okay, tell me about the digestion in large intestines. What does it absorb? What happens in there?
The mineral and vitamin absorption happens in the large intestine.
Just water. Just water is
Oh,
absorbed in
wait.
large intestines.
Yeah. I always get the small and the large intestine mixed up. Like,
Hmm.
oh wait.
You know what would help? If you create a chart. So if you create a chart that's the small intestines and large intestines and write
Yeah.
down everything to see it like distinctively separate, or if you're like more visual learner, you can also go on YouTube and literally watch the whole GI tract happens. So you would have that like tie, because you know like Crash Course and stuff, sometimes people
Yeah.
make really good animations of these things. So if you want to just look up like this digestion happening, I think that could help you really remember both of them.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to because it's really bad.
Do you want to tell me anything you know about the microbiota?
It has doesn't it have like the majority of it? Like it has like a big amount of microbiota.
But what is it?
Oh, it's like good bacteria,
Yes,
right?
yeah, it's a good gut bacteria.
It's
Okay.
good,
Um,
yeah, good gut bacteria.
So our time is up, actually. I do have a few more questions, actually just two more questions, but we could
Mhm.
review it on Friday if you're available, or I could also just review it with the people on Friday and then post it.
Okay, yeah. I'm not sure if I'll be available on Friday because the times did change,
Mm-hmm.
but I'll rewatch the recording.
Okay. And you could also message me if you have any more questions, or I could also send you these questions, like the last two, for you to review on your own if you like in the future.
Good. Thank you so much,
Thanks for
Celine.
coming. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. These questions are really helpful.
Goodbye.
Bye.